It's Pi Day. Is anyone else happy it's Pi Day? Rav. That's the wrong. Rav is NBC, but she is AFK. I always feel bad if I just leave someone who's AFK, you know? I know, but still. Did it not pop up? Excuse me, game. Game capture? Oh my god, why is it so what? Um I don't understand what's going on. That sounded like I think what I was fucking around with was okay, this thing that I'm messing about with does not need to be messed with, and I had it perfectly. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Where's my undo button? My game capture is not working apparently. See something. See something. Can I show Steam? What the fuck? Give me one moment. I'm just going to. Hi, Neville. We're having issues right now. uh. No, and I think that's as best as we're gonna get. I can't seem to get it means. Normally, there's no issue with getting the game to pop up, but this one, yes. Hi. I know I also accidentally mess with other things, so. Okay, didn't.
Frog. I can compliment them. Damn it.
The game is up though, so we're fine.
Thanks, Mom. Okay.
Oh, hi. Oh. That note. How was your stream, Nibble? Click on what I need to, right? Not. Nope, it's low. On it now. I'll learn one day to get this all set up before I start stream. One day. Not today, though. One day. Not today. I can't hit continue because I'm pretty sure I was playing on something else. This one. This is what we need. Indubitably.
Boop.
I forgot to stop the music. I heard that. You are indeed correct. Which one should we do? I'm gonna leave that up to you. Because I eat my pie. Because today is pie day. And I had to have pie. I was gonna go live a little bit earlier, but I got distracted by Minecraft. And pie. One out of 5. Pick a number, any number. 1 to 5. Best way to pick that. I mean, technically, yes. It's in the shape of a pie. What? Me? Hold on. Okay, it's not me that she's screaming for. It's Kenzie that she's screaming for. Okay. I completely understand that, Nibble. My cat demands attention, too. She demands attention every couple of hours. And it's always at the inopportune moments. I still can't take out that, selfie that voice got me from her. She just glares at me every time. Until I, like, drop it back into her a little bit. Did I? Yeah, okay. This stream is all about me talking, so I wish you all luck. Because y'all get to hear my voice constantly. Nope. Kenzie can go get her own. Hey, let's go. I'm gonna finish my pie before I start streaming, though. Just in case anyone is wondering, it's strawberry cream pie. You've been brought along to the big park today, which did an excellent job of living up to its title. I can read. Normally I can, at least. Park near your house with its lonely playground equipment wasn't even a quarter the size of the expanse grass and trees that lay before you now. As it was in the town, next town over, and too far for you to walk to by yourself, you didn't get to visit much. So you soaked up the environment. The only difference between this park and the one in your neighborhood was this one had visitors other than you, Lizzie, Shiloh, and Cove. It sounded like Kenzie was coming upstairs. Going on. Okay. Hey. Sounds interesting. Today was the busiest day you've ever seen it. thanks to a community get together luring people in from all over the local area with the promise of barbecue and fireworks. Your family and Coves were just two of many, but seemed like dozens of cars were packed up already when you had arrived. You saw Cove hesitate as he took in the growing gaggle of strangers, while your mommy Lizzie bounced on the balls of her feet, barely containing her excitement. The crowd made you nervous, you couldn't wait for the fireworks, you looked forward to meeting more kids. You'd rather have stayed home, your tummy was already rumbling for the food to come. Even if it was bigger, this park wasn't as special as the one back home. No lie, as a kid, food and fireworks would have gotten me to go anywhere. Because fireworks always kind of memorized me, you know? So I say fireworks. It was going to be so cool. Mommy had told you that people running the community event weren't charging for it, but she wanted them to get something in return. Which is why you've not been allowed to touch the beautiful iced cupcakes she had carried on her lap during the drive over. It was a special treat for them. Every time the car made a turn, she clutched the box tight enough for her knuckles to strain, much to everyone else's amusement. Mr. Holden's contribution to the party, a huge pack of juice boxes, was tucked under his arm after being retrieved from the car's trunk. You bet there had been no such dramatics around the cargo getting here in one piece, but the boxes did lack the beauty shimmer of Mommy's treasured cupcakes.
Okie dokie.
Everyone all set? Should be. Cove, did you put sunscreen on before we left? Yeah, I always do. You don't have to tell me. Mr. Holden deflated, his attempt of caring for his son rebuffed. But he did triumph with a smile. Good kid. I don't want you getting burned or dehydrated either. It'll be a busy day. What did I say about coming near my pie?
Well,
Don't think there's going to be any risk of that second part. Mommy nodded at the tables up ahead, laden with all kinds of food and drink. She was right, there's plenty to go around. Parents headed over with you, Lizzie, and Cove trailing after them. A bunch of grown-ups were clustered around there, chatting, but you were more intrigued by what was on the tables. Moms had said that you weren't to touch the food until they said it was time to eat. You didn't see the harm in taking just a little. You wanted to listen to the rules. You didn't want to risk getting caught. You wanted to listen to the rules. Cupcake sounds good. It's really good, boys. I suggest it. You felt that was important. You saw that Mommy and Mr. Odin had deposited the food and drink they bought. Mommy gave the cupcakes one final worried look before turning to you with a smile. Since that's the topic at hand, how about we freshen up with something to drink? Boys, I am not too busy reading to notice if my pie is gone. Since all that you've been taking will be like half an empty container. I do have another one if you want it, though. Kenzie doesn't like pie. And my mom bought two, one for me, one for her. She hoped Kenzie would at least try it before saying no. Boy, was she wrong. I'm very curious as to what my cat is doing. Because all I see is her shadow behind my PC. Very interesting, you know. Since that's the topic at hand, how about we freshen up with something to drink? Yeah, that'd be great. Along the ones out, there was a giant ice cooler on the ground, stuffed full of cans of soda boxes of juice and milk, as well as bottles of water. Your drink was. Do we get a juice? Let's get a juice. You slurped the sweet juice through the straw until, all too soon, you were sucking up only air. The group took a break while everyone quenched their thirst. Mr. Horton smacked his lips, pantomiming enjoyment. That hit the spot, but you kids should go have fun. You can take your stuff with you and join the other kids playing games. Just don't go too far from the tables. We'll be keeping an eye out, so don't even think about sneaking off. We're not going to the other parts of the park today. Lizzie huffed at their comments. They did sound directed at her, but she scanned the surroundings, nodding her head towards a group of kids like a general directing their battalion. Pointed the way. Come on, let's go over there. Peaches? Down! Don't you turn your head at me. Peaches. Come on, let's go over there. Toad's mouth was downturned as he looked from the parents and the other adults to the new kids, clearly not favoring either option. Ultimately, he hunched his shoulders and tagged along after Lizzie. You want to play with the other kids too. You stuck with your parents. You had to go play with the other kids. You followed after Lizzie and Cove, who were waiting for you on the outskirts of the group of parents. Hurry up. You picked up the pace, moving into a jog, but when Lizzie pelted away, full speed, you and Cove had no choice but to break out into a run. The other kids were far out in the field. Still at your speed, it wasn't long until you reached them. As you approached, they turned around to greet the newcomers.
Hi.
I'm Lizzie. That's my little sibling, Jamie, and the one with the cast is Cove. Hi. Cove simply lifted a hand in greeting. There was a chorus of hellos and names from the other kids. One of the kids looked to be about Lizzie's age or older. A couple seemed to be the same age as you and Cove, and there was one tiny little thing with his arms folded over his chest. What are you up to? Come here. Baby. Yeah. I said, comes to get attention at the most. Give you all the hugs. Yeah, give you all the hugs and loves. Done. Yep. First kid, a boy with curly black hair and neon green sneakers who'd introduced himself as Hayden, shrugged as he looked to the others. Not much. The second kid to pipe up, Lisa, had half her face obscured behind the huge glasses she wore. I haven't decided yet. She glanced wistfully over her shoulders, following her gaze. He saw a spray of water first. Heard a shriek as someone got splashed in the face before he spotted the person shooting them. Some people are playing with water guns, but there aren't any left. The smallest kid, Noah, grumbled at that. You guys that was why he was sulking. Spencer hadn't said much. She patted his shoulder. So let's out. A new kid raced over with a glint in her eyes and her braids streaming behind her. Had the plastic orange pistols in her hand too late, when the trigger had already been pressed. Act. Rude! Hey! Lizzie had been caught first was fuming. Cove wiped the water from his face. He rubbed at your ear, trying to dislodge the water that had pooled there. Don't spray people, he laughed. Watch out, he has a cast. He pushed her away. This is not what you need to be doing. Go lay down. Go lay down. Okay, when I say lay down, I didn't mean right there in front of me. Someone wants to be a baby. Yeah, someone just wants to be a baby. That all you wanted to be is a baby? Yeah. Ah, this is the life. Girl simply darted off to find more victims unaffected by your reaction. Doesn't mean anything by it. Lizzie tutted, flicking her hair out of her face. The girl's not meaning anything by it didn't change the fact that she'd been sprayed. Cove looked similarly unimpressed. His face lit up as she had an idea. Hey, we should catch her. She won't be able to spray people if she's running away from everyone. Yeah. Cove nodded as the other kids murmured their interest, or lack of it, in the game. Let's do it. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me. Okay, you're not along. No thanks. You shook your head. I don't see why not. Join the group of kids and turning off after the girl with the pistol. What you doing, Peaches? Spotting you all over her shoulder, she laughed and shot her pistol in the air when a couple of drops squeezed out. She swerved, causing discord within your team as someone stood on your foot. You cried with Cove's shoulder. Sorry. Cove shot you a smile that gave you feeling of camaraderie. It's okay. You're closing in on the girl, but you weren't alone. Leslie's face was set with intent, and two older kids were hot on her heels too. You outran them easily, ran at them with effort. You weren't as fast as them because they were speedy. You weren't as fast as them because you weren't fast. You moved to the side to let them pass. You didn't want to win this race. You outran them easily. Pushed right to the head of the pack. You were close, and then you tackled her to the ground. You did it. The girl who had been caught giggled as she got to her feet, brushing strands of grass from her knees. Finally, Cove came to stop at your side. Lizzie whooped with delight, clapping her hands, the boy with the bright sneakers grin. You're right now, catch us if you can. Yeah, I'll do it. You won't get away from me. With that, you all dispersed, clearly laughing as you tried to evade capture. The siren mood from earlier had evaporated entirely, replaced by a light and playful atmosphere. Several rounds later, when most of the kids had taken at least one turn as it, the scent of smoke wafted up to your nose. Caught by surprise, you looked up and found that the brilliant blue of the sky had turned orange. As the sun sunk down on the horizon with all the excitement, you lost track of time completely. Looking over, you saw people standing over at the grills, poking them to life. It was nearly time to eat. We should get over there. I'm so hungry. Our parents are at different spots. Yeah. Bye. It was cool playing. Yep. Bye. You waved goodbye to the other group of kids before hurrying over to your parents with Lizzie and Cove. A tickle unfurled in your throat, growing more persistent as you came closer to the source of the smoke. As the three of you approached the tables, your parents spotted you and came to join you halfway. You tried to greet them, but another cough obstructed your words. Oof, that's quite a cough.
Oh.
Are you alright, sweetie? You nodded confidently. I'm fine. No, you shook your head. Yes, Peaches? You are such a needy little kitty. Come here, give me all the loves. You wanted loves. You keep nuzzling against everything. Mm-hmm. No. She's like, are you serious? Let me go. And I gotta say no. She's like, let me go, let me go. I get it. Do you get it? Ah. Hmm. Hmm. No. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. The smoke will be gone soon. No one needs to go up to the girls if they don't want to. Just let me know what you need. There's no response from the other two kids here. I can get it myself, Mommy. I can do it. You marched over to girls. Can you get it for me? Please, can you get it for me? You your head, moving no closer to the smoking grill. Can you get it for me? Of course. The main thing being served is kebabs. You can have whatever you like on it. There's different meats and veggies.
Well,
What would you like on yours? Mama's right, there's plenty of options. Chicken, beef, shrimp, pork, onions, peppers, zucchini, potatoes. I love kebabs. That sounded something. Oh, pie. I did click on beef, right? Yeah. Some beef, onions, potatoes, and peppers. Sounds good to me. And the veggies will be good for you. Order given, you waited for your food to be ready. Lizzie headed towards you, having issued her own request. Hi again. I heard what you ordered. I'm getting a chicken kebab with all 3 colors of peppers. Noticing that Cove approached, she turned to him. What are you having? Why doesn't matter. I don't know. I was just asking. Getting beef and shrimp with all the vegetables except onions. Lizzie hummed while evaluating his response. It's okay, guess, but chicken is definitely the better one. Then you can eat all the chicken. I'm going to. I want some chicken too. All the chicken in the world? Chicken is Zora's. This is a stupid argument. Chicken is the best choice. What you think, Peaches? Speaking of that, he just hasn't actively had chicken. Her food isn't flavored, and we give her seafood, styled wet food. So so she hasn't actually ate chicken. She also doesn't like eating people food. She'll sniff it and all, but she won't eat it. I think it's awesome, but my mom said just wait. Give it a couple minutes. That being also said, she likes to stick her head into cups. I'm pretty sure there is a picture in my Discord showing it too. I do believe. You might have to like scroll up for it, but yep. Oh, and you get to see how tiny she was too. Bagels is currently scratching up his bed. I got distracted by looking at animal pics. I'm sorry. Da, 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 da. All the chicken in the world? No, that's dumb. You know what I mean. Lizzie peered over to the grills where the kebabs were being handed out. Throwing assortment of kebabs collected in your parents' hands. They're coming over. Don't get jealous of mine when you realize you made the wrong choice, Cove. I didn't make the wrong choice. There isn't a wrong choice. We all make good choices. Same to you, Lizzie. You sighed. Oh, we all make good choices. It's just what a kebab. It's just what kebab someone eats. First, serving your mommy one final kebab. Then your parents moved over to rejoin you. Between them, they were carrying 6 kebabs, one for each of you, including Cove and Mr. Holden. We got the kebab. We got the goods. Not the kebabs. Cove's daddy is looking for a place we can stay. In the meantime, they began passing out the kebabs to the rightful owners. Lizzie smiled smugly as she received hers. They're pretty big. Be careful not to drop them. Try not to poke yourselves with the ends, either. They're sharper than you might think. Hearing that, you gently pushed the tip of the skewer against your finger. It felt like the point of a newly sharpened pencil. Though it didn't hurt your hand, you wouldn't want it scraping the roof of your mouth or jabbing your tongue. Mommy clucked her tongue. It would have been nice if the options were a little easier to manage and less messy to eat, especially for smaller kids. There aren't even plates for everyone, so we could set the food down for a second.
True.
That's what you get for the price of free, but we can hack it, right? Lizzie nodded her head vigorously, clutching her kebab like a trophy. Your parents led you back to the tables. It was immediately evident why Mr. Holden had been sent to scout one out. The benches had quickly filled up as people got their food. Mr. Holden was standing over a corner section near the edges of the sitting area. He beckoned your group over to join him. You clambered onto the bench, taking care not to let your kebab slip from your fingers. Cove took a seat next to you. Lizzie took the other side. Your mom passed the final unclaimed kebab to Mr. Holden.
Thank you.
Thanks. This looks delicious. Thank you for getting us a space out here. Everyone tucked into their food. You gobbled it up eagerly, only partially obstructed by the awkwardness of eating from a skewer. Running around the other kids had helped you work up an appetite. Mr. Holden, what do you do? Well, I do a lot of things. Do you play golf? Only if you count mini golf. One look at Lizzie's stricken face confirmed that she did not. She could enjoy the occasional run at a mini golf place, especially if she had an audience to impress, but your sister took her passion very seriously. Even then, it's been years since I gave it a shot. Both groaned at the feeble pun. Mom chuckled. You weren't sure if she was responding to the joke, Cove's annoyance, or Lizzie's offense.
Don't worry about it.
Just as well, she'd be dragging you to the green every week. That's because I got dedication. You need a good drive or two to get far. Mr. Holden nodded, licking his tongue in appreciation. Cove looked from his father to your sister, lost in the conversation. Out of class in golf and wit. I don't get it. A drive is a type of golf shot. You should give real golf a try. Maybe I'll even teach you some tricks. Don't try to change my dad to be more like you. Lizzie gave Cove a dirty look at the accusation. Mommy felt the need to move the topic ahead before it got heated. Probably a good idea.
How nice.
That's really sweet of you, but I'm sure Mr. Holden is busy. You might not have time for another hobby. Yeah, I don't think I'm made for that. Still, the offer is appreciated.
Why?
And tell me something you really do already. You just go away every day. I like scuba diving, though. With the business, that's more work than play these days. Surfing, reading, snorkeling. Those are things Cove likes. Wow, it's a good thing you live by the beach. You stay quiet. Those are things Cove likes. Mr. Holden exaggeratedly puffed out his chest. What can I say? My boy's got good taste. He takes after his dad in that way. The sun had been setting when you got your food. By the time you'd finished, night had truly fallen. Your sticky fingers were the only remaining evidence of your meal. The kebab had been a great combination, more than the sum of its parts. The seasoning of freedom to choose every ingredient yourself was what made it something to remember. Rising from the table, Mommy held up her water bottle. Okay, now the food is gone, you've got to wash your hands.
Okay.
Jamie, Lizzie, please hold them out. Lizzie complied, coming over and cupping her hands together in front of her. Mommy splashed some water over her fingers, and Lizzie rubbed them together, working off any residue. Here. Mom passed her a paper towel from her purse. Lizzie used it to dry off her hands. Your turn, Jamie. You readily held your hands up to catch the water. Begrudgingly, you lifted your hands up. You didn't move. I don't need to. You did it because why not? I don't want sticky fingers. Fingers after eating. Copying Lizzie, you washed your hands, taking care to clean every crevice between your fingers before wiping them dry. Nearby, Cove had taken his own course of action, wiping his hands on his pants, leaving a stain where his fingers had been. Mr. Holden shook his head. Let's clean that off, pal. He scrubbed at the fabric with a scrunched-up napkin. That's not that bad. When everyone was cleaned up, or at least clean as they could be with the limited facilities, Mom spoke up. Let's go make one last check at the coolers and stock on drinks before the fireworks show. No time, we have to get a good spot. Everywhere's going to be taken. How about I go ahead to the space again? You can meet up with me in the field after getting the drinks. Then I'm going to Cove's dad. I'll find the perfect place.
Okay.
Sure thing, I can use an extra pair of eyes. Mommy shook her head ruefully at Lizzie, even more enthusiastic than usual attitude. All right, me, Cliff, and Lizzie can go find a place to sit. Pam, Cove, and Jamie, do you want to get the drinks? Okay. You nodded. Okay, I'll get all the stuff we need. No, I want to help pick the spot. I don't want to get drinks. You considered your options. You nodded. As Mommy, Lizzie, and Mr. Holden headed off into the wide open field where the fireworks were being set up, you joined Cove and Mom in returning to the cooler where you picked up drinks earlier. Even as you approached, you suspected you wouldn't find much in it. Where it had originally been stuck to the brim, it was now half empty. The ice which had cushioned the drinks and kept them cool was largely melted, with only a handful of pieces floating like tiny icebergs. Slim pickings. The drinks that remained looked to be bottles of plain water, but you caught a glimpse of something more colorful in amongst them. Mommy went around in the cooler, excavating a couple of juice boxes from the bottom in the process. Ah. Jimmy, Cove, you can take one of those if you want. The perks of helping. You took a juice box for yourself. You took only a water bottle. You took a juice box to share and a water bottle for yourself. I can speak. Cove hesitated but decided to take a juice box for himself. When you were each loaded up with your choosing drinks, plus an extra bottle or two for someone else in the group, Mom's phone started to ring. She dug the water bottles over into the crook of her arm, looked at the color. It's Mommy. Hold tight while I get this.
How are you?
Hey, hon, how's it going? Did you find your perfect spot already? She nodded along to the call, punctured by uh-huhs, as Mommy gave her directions. Catching her, she gestured towards the grassy area. Got a place. Come on. We better hurry before the show starts. You and Cove jogged after your mom, who led you through the field, and your separate groups of people assembled there. Back to the rest of your families. Hello, we're here, and we come bearing drinks. Though there wasn't much left. The three of you handed over the spare drinks. You held up the extra juice box. Brought this for someone.
How
You're
sweet.
so thoughtful, Jamie. Despite Mommy replying pretty expectantly, there was just one person who made a claim to the sweet drink. Can I have it? Okay. Thanks. I love you, Jamie. Aw. I did read the last part because I skipped over it by accident. You two are a real pair. Once everyone had been equipped with a drink for the big event, we sat on the grass beside Cove and waited for the magic to begin. Most people in the park had taken a seat now, with a few stragglers silhouetted back at the tables in the distance. A few rambunctious kids were still dashing about, but their number was steadily decreasing as their parents called them over and restored order. Someone bearing a cardboard box weaved between the groups, pausing ever so often. You nudged Cove and pointed. What are they doing? Looks like they're handing something out. I can't make out what it is.
What a pickle.
I hope it's not drinks. Mommy chuckled, but Lizzie and Cove were now watching the bestower of mystery goods keenly. Are they going to come to us too? Mom softly put her hands on top of your sister's shoulder as if she feared Lizzie might bolt over to the stranger. Lizzie didn't glance at her, eyes locked on the potential prize. I don't know.
In that case.
We'll have to wait and see. You were intrigued. You didn't care. You were intrigued. Studying the man with the box closely as he gradually meandered nearer, you could make out that he was handing out small items to most of the groups he stopped at. They seemed too short to be water bottles, but beyond that, it remained a mystery. Then the boxman made his way to your group. Thank you for the hydrate. Evening. I'm heading out desserts. Any takers? There's dessert? Lizzie squealed, hopping off the ground. The man chuckled. Oh, yes. I'm going to take that as a yes. Ice cream's on the menu, vanilla flavored with a twist of either chocolate or strawberry syrup.
Nice.
Nice. None from me, though, thanks. Same, but the offer is appreciated. I want chocolate. Can I have strawberry? And a strawberry for me too, please. Chocolate or strawberry? Lizzie got what? Strawberry or was it chocolate? Viv got a strawberry. Lizzie got chocolate. Mom also got that strawberry. So 2 strawberries. Let's go with lactose. I will not be choosing that. I'm gonna get chocolate, because who am I to deny that? Reaching into the box, the man brought out the requested ice creams and tossed them out. It came packaged in a little plastic cup, complete with a wooden spoon stuck to the paper lid. I can talk. I can talk. My mom has a phobia of lid. I can see why. Reaching into the box, the man brought out the requested ice creams, tossed them out, stuck to the paper lid. I read that. The condensation wet your fingers in a pleasant way.
Thank you.
Hold on. Been roughly an hour. I'm gonna pause here. I'm gonna go refresh my drink of water. Because I've had this water since early this morning. So I'm gonna switch it out with some fresh water. So I shall be right back. Tell dad jokes, huh? Thank you. Eat her off. Much. Nice fresh water. Thank you. Kids, are you gonna thank the nice man too? There's course of thank yous. Cordially nodded and walked off to another group. Dan couldn't spend much time with each group, considering how many he had to get to. Peel back the tab that covered the ice cream and got right into your unexpected treat. It tasted amazing. Lizzie was definitely enjoying hers. Cove was too. Couldn't help thinking how Cove had strawberry while you had chocolate. Want a bite of mine? Can I try yours? You didn't mention that out loud. Come on, we gotta see. He looked around awkwardly but nodded nonetheless. You got a bit of ice cream, making sure to hit the chocolate swirl that distinguished it from Cove's. Held it out for him. Nibbled at it. Some of mine? Yeah. This is how relationships start. Scooped out a chunk of ice cream with his wooden spoon before holding it out to you. You took it gladly. It was gone in one bite.
Oh.
Mommy was gazing at the two of you. Her mouth was an open smile, as if she was about to say something else. But Mom tugged on her collar. Don't embarrass. Hey, if you're sharing, I'll take some. Don't need it. You both have the same flavor. So what? You shook. You can have some. You're not taking any of mine. You shook your head no. Lizzie stuck her tongue out at both of you and turned her attention back to her own cup of ice cream. Lizzie must joy happily, but ultimately didn't see it in monopolizing her attention. Eyes wide, she looked at her mommy and pulled on her pants. Please. I didn't get strawberry. Can I have some of yours, please? Of course, sweetie. Lizzie cooed with excitement as Mommy presented her with a dollop of the ice cream and syrup mixture. Licking her lips, Lizzie lapped it up. Mommy, come on now. Lizzie has all the ice cream she needs. She simply laughed and pinched Lizzie's cheek, then dug her spoon in again and held it out to you. I just can't resist. Jamie, would you like some of mine? They got a whole cup of ice cream to eat already and had a bite of Cove's. I think that's plenty. But that's not the same as getting a little extra from your mommy. You accepted the bite you passed in the bite. You accepted the bite. You ate the treat being offered, much to Mom's and Mommy's delight. Cove watched the exchange silently with a blank expression. Mom, on the other hand, shook her head, one smile on her face. Well, you better at least give me some too. You could have gotten your own if you wanted ice cream. What? The kids have ice cream already, and now they're getting some of yours to boot, and I have nothing. Now's when you decide to be firm? Laughing, Mommy had fed some ice cream to your sulking mom. You could never actually follow through with being tough. There. All better now? Yes. Good. How about you, Cliff? Would you like some? Nope, I'm still okay, but thanks for keeping me in mind. No, if it's only fair that you get the choice too. Go shook his head firmly, concentrating on his own cup. Mommy smiled. Okay, as long as no one is feeling left out. Mommy was always so nice to everyone. No lie, I got my own ice cream too when I was up there. Fixing up my water. Then, the first firework cut through the sky. Awesome! And now you'll never catch another one again because that's how it goes. At least for me, that's how it goes. Never seemed to catch any of them. I just gave up. Beef jerky sounds good. I'm supposed to be getting animal crackers tomorrow, I do believe. That'd be a fun treat. Let me say, the only reason why I'm getting them is because Kenzie brought home some animal cookies. And I was like, okay, I need animal crackers now. I do. Guys, these again. Good. I'm good now. Should be at least. I'm good now. Might have what Reese's Dragon has. Alright, then the first firework cut through the sky, whistling as it ascended until it hit its crescendo with an explosion. The park flashed as if alight. Squealing, Lizzie leapt to her feet, her forgotten ice cream tumbling to the ground. The firework crackled into tiny drops of glitter in the sky. It's starting! Everyone else looked up to the sky as another firework whizzed through the air. With each explosion, Lizzie would jump into the air. The event was thrilling. It was impossible to tear your eyes from the scene. The loud noises hurt your ears. You covered them with your hands. It was kind of neat. You shrunk back, hugging your knees to your chest. The event was thrilling. It was impossible to tear your eyes from the scene. Phil sat by his dad, captivated by the sky sparkles and flashes overhead. Mr. Holden watched the fireworks, seeing him passively. He had smiled at you and even gave a thumbs up when he noticed you looking over. Mommy hopped to her feet, pulling Mom with her, pushing her into joining Lizzie and jumping up in tandem with every crack of firework. Mommy then bent down to offer you a hand up too. Tried to quietly watch from the ground. You got up to join your family. You got to join your family, beckoning Cove to join. Cove got to his feet, yelling after you as you stood with your family. Mom's faces lit up literally and metaphorically as you approached. The five of you shrieked and leapt along with the sparkles in the sky, not trying to contain your joy and experiencing the sights together. Yes, baby? Yes? So I just offered some whipped cream to Peaches, and Peaches bumped her nose into my finger and got some on her nose. And then looked at me like I did it on purpose. Which I did not. The fireworks continued, some twisting like the coil of a spring as they arched into the air, others shooting straight from the ground and shattering to a million tiny specks. Every color got its spotlight in the show, from fiery reds to eerie greens and blues that could rival the ocean. The show built up to the grand finale that boomed over the park and filled every inch of the sky, twinkling lights representing the full spectrum of the rainbow. The exhilaration that had fueled fueled you while the fireworks were going off was snapped dry now that the show had finished. Collapsed into a giggling heap on the ground, suddenly aware of how your legs ached from your exertion. Cove tumbled down with you, his expression gleeful. Crystal wouldn't watch his son with an expression much happier than the one he'd worn while watching the show. Lizzie gave a final whoop of delight and shared a high five with Mom, as Mom shouted for an encore into the night. You didn't know what that meant, but you liked the way it made Mom laugh. Though the sun had gone down long ago, the air in your bare arms was warm. You took in your giddy family, their spirits buoyed by the fireworks displayed. Then your new friend and his father, who looked happy in their own, quieter way, and smiled. This had been a pretty special night. Barbecue is done. How'd you enjoy that, boys? To Sandcastle. Phil wasn't able to do many things that summer, and him and Shiloh sat on the shoreline, bright morning. You could tell he wanted to be in the water. There was no way he'd be swimming anytime soon, not with this cast. The waves washed a single shell to shore, glittering in blue, another reminder of the places he couldn't go. But you've heard about Cove's old life so far. In tiny pieces and fragments, you tell that he'd do anything to be able to get the cast off. Like make a pact with a witch or something, just to get it off his arm. You thought about how his summer last year must have been totally different from this, with his old home and his mom and dad. But now he was here with you and Shiloh and Lizzie and everyone else, and he couldn't even go in the sea. This town wasn't bad. It had all your favorite things in it, but sitting there on the same beach you'd grown up on, you could understand that not everyone else felt the same way about Sunset Park as you did. You watched him from the corner of your eye, quietly, Lainey finally said aloud what she had been pondering. I wish I could go in. The water? Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, you're gonna be able to do it soon. Cove only sighed in response. Apparently soon wasn't soon enough. It's so pretty, the ocean. And huge. There could be anything out there like mermaids. Yeah. I wish you didn't have Cass. I don't really care. Swimming might be fun if we could. I'm fine here. I'll plan. Mermaids aren't real. I'm not that much of a bitch to say mermaids aren't real. For all we know, mermaids are real. Mm-hmm. That's not like there's anything we can do about it. Mm-hmm. Obviously not interested in hearing much more of your input on the situation. Cove turned back to the water. As he looked away, something caught Shiloh's so careful movements caught his eye. Hey, are you building a sandcastle? Sort of. I'll be playing around while you're talking. I'm listening. Maybe I could too. I've only made big piles before. It's really nothing special. I'm sure you'd be good at it right away. Well, how do you do it then? Shiloh's cheek lit up. You could tell he was a little bit uncomfortable to have Cove's expectant stare on him. I'll play too. I love making sand stuff. I never really made one before. There's nothing else to do. I love making sand stuff. Okay. Y'all want to hear a little fun fact about me? So, when I was really little, like in the single digits, I loved Minnie Mouse. Now, my stepmom, and I know it's only my stepmom who did it, even though it said from dad and her. I know it was probably just my stepmom who got it done, made for me. But she got a custom Minnie Mouse book for me that talked about the beach and me making sandcastles with Minnie Mouse. And I treasured the fuck out of that book. It is sitting on my bookshelf. I'm pretty sure it's in my playroom, high up on the shelf so no one could grab it. Because I love it. Is the thing I will most treasure because it was, and I loved reading it. It is very precious. I showed it to my niece and she thought it was super cool. Maybe I'll like say maybe I'll show it off on stream, but that's not a good idea because it has my real name in the book. So maybe I'll read it out loud to everyone one day. You know? That way I can input Beanie into it. I will show the pictures though. The pictures don't have my name on it though. I can show the pictures. But beach and Minnie Mouse. So it was a good book that they got for me. Okay. He put his hands back to his seashells and sand and nodded. I don't do a lot. Here's how I like to get a house started. Shiloh, focusing more intently than you've ever seen him, guided Cove through his process. You happily used your own methods. It didn't take long for the three of you each to have humble structures prepared. That's all, kind of. You can do anything now, like make it bigger, add some seashells, carve a pretty pattern. Bet you'll have great ideas.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it bigger. Mine's gonna be a real castle. Cool, this is gonna be a house. Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decide to make a house, a castle, a mansion. A castle, why not? Looking at the base of your sandcastle, you decide to build a fancy castle. The better part of the next hour was spent focusing on your own work. The boys were the same. Even Shiloh didn't sneak as many peeks at everyone else's as he usually did. Look at that, a little sandcastle. You finished shaping before either of them did, glancing up from what you built. It seems you got done so fast because they already searched around for extra decorations. Shiloh had grabbed most of the really interesting stuff, and Cove had a lot of the shells. There were still options. First thing you reached for was a red bottle cap, blue seashell, green piece of sea glass. It was the best fit for your castle, you decided. It was see-through and sparkly, so you put it in a funny place. We'd take a second look to see it. Pleased with your result, you finally took a proper look around that wasn't focused on the sand itself. Though Cove and Shiloh seemed super immersed still. You know, you could probably sneak a peek at either one's work. Checked out Cove's, you checked out Shiloh's. Try not to look. Should we look at one of them? Whose? Cove's or Shiloh's? The castle Cove had built looked surprisingly tidy, especially for someone in a cast. He must have worked really hard. He wasn't even finished digging the huge gaping moat in front, but it was already enormous. He got the sense from the enthusiasm he was digging with that the doctor was probably going to find a bunch of sand, and he finally removed the pink plaster. The silence was thus unbroken. What's on top of yours, Shiloh? He closer and discovered something shiny sticking out of Shiloh's sand chimney. Oh, it's just a gum wrapper. It looks like smoke.
Neat.
It's good. That's smart. I didn't think of that. I guess. I don't see it. You should be an architect. Kind of looks more like a worm. Yeah, I didn't think of that. You really know a lot about this. Charles bowed without a word, and that was that for the current topic. Jamie, can I see what you did? Sure. It just bit near and began surveying your work. The castle built was pretty impressive, all things considered. It had archways, tall walls, and even a little moat circling it. You would probably feel safe living there. Maybe your moms were the queens. Charlie quickly decided to jump in the new conversation. Hey, Jamie, what did you do? This is my castle. Charlie didn't look so happy anymore. You both built castles. Yeah. Oh, that's neat. How do you guys match? It's too bad we didn't all do it. Next time we should. Wouldn't that be boring? Something is the only one of that thing. That makes it special. Yeah, for kids, sandcastles and stuff. People too. People too, my dad always say how everybody is their own man, a real individual. I don't think I'm very special.
Why?
Why not? Everyone else is. You. What?
Why?
Nobody else is you. Okay. I. Giles simply shook his head. Not different. A beat passed between the two. Cove then looked down his own work again. Okay. He didn't seem to bother leaving the disagreement hanging there. Cove had other things on his mind. My dad tried to get me to make sandcastles the first time we came to this beach. I didn't want to. Cove trailed off again. There was another moment of silence. Shiloh shook it and opened his mouth to say something, but Cove spoke up before he could. You didn't think he noticed that Shiloh was going to speak. Hey, do you know what happened when your moms met my dad, Jamie? We had to see if Shiloh would say what he wanted to. When he didn't, you considered Cove's question. I wasn't there. They didn't tell me. I just remember what happened when I met your dad. Mr. Holden had been a weird stranger then. Well, he was still kind of a stranger. Then the parent acted like him, but you knew him better at this point. Now you thought about it, it made a lot of sense that Cove's dad talked to him about people being unique. You were pulled from your thoughts when Cove continued.
Oh.
Oh, well, I was there. I don't think my mom has met your dad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she hasn't. Jamie's parents, my dad met the same day I met them. I'm gonna say what happened. Where's Shiloh? It looks so down. Someone definitely needs a hug. The poor baby. I would like to state Shiloh's in his own game too. I do not. I wasn't all that interested in it. Shiloh frowned to himself, ducking his head. His hat cast a shadow over his face. You could still tell he was upset at not being included in Ghost's choice of topic. That was kind of boring for him, though. Giving people their own turn to say the things they want is important too. Stay silent, let Ko finish his story. I think Shiloh wants to talk too. Oh, Steam. Oh, did it just pop up? Hold on, I'm gonna do a little digging, see what's on it. Hmm. um. Hmm. Might get Resident Evil 4. That's the only one that I'm missing technically out of all of them. And for only $20. Yes, please. I'm done with House Flipper stuff because I can't play House Flipper. House Flipper, fix your shit. Maybe I'll try to get my time at Sandra. But so every time I try to open it up, it crashes. It won't even get to the main screen. Well, technically it will get to the main screen, but it crashes before anything can load. Lucky. I made it so that only the actual game was in it. So only House Flipper, no DLCs at all. It still wouldn't run. Even on my new PC, it crashed. It said nope. But House Flipper 2 is awesome and I play it. Do I miss the the ability to make a fire and light everything up? Yes, I do. But I'm fine. I don't need to commit arson. I know they did House Flipper 2 just had a update, so I did think about getting Poppy Playtime. Chapter 3 is out. I'll play 1 and then I will get 2 and then 3 as they come, you know? They finish them off. Thought about like Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is only $14.99. My god, I wish I waited. I say that. I bought Hogwarts Legacy over a year ago, I think. Maybe 2. I don't know when it came out. I got it like months after it came out, I think. And that's because I was desperate to be a witch game. I should play it again. I have too many games I need to play. I started Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't finish it. I started Baldur's Gate and I never finished it. I need to go back and finish those games. And for Baldur's Gate, I need to get out of part 1. I'm pretty sure me and Risa just were talking about starting up a thing. You could always join voice, I think. I don't think we invited anyone else. Maybe Kadith. So, we'd have 4 people. And you can have up to 4. Yeah. Ideally, my thing is 2 people should be in a game. That way you both could have, you know, you could each bring 1 person that's an NPC with you. But I don't, you know, see any reason not to. We just gotta remember to sleep at least once. You know? In that first part before Grove. We had the party. Awesome, we'll do. I was finishing up my ice cream. I think Shiloh wants to talk too. Oh, we were talking just now right now. Talking to you, he can listen. Man, do you not know how to share? Shiloh's expression barely flickered at the words. He still looked put off. Poor kid. Philip continued like the interruption never happened. He was determined to tell the tale. When we moved here, we didn't bring a lot of things with us, only some stuff that would fit in Dad's car. We didn't even get a moving truck. I sat in there while Dad brought it all inside. I didn't want to get out because I knew Dad would make me look around the new house. Really didn't want to do. I was like, okay. Lips twisted into frowns as he recalled that. Then I saw your moms. They were in a car too. Stopped at your house. Guess they were coming back from somewhere or something. My dad noticed. He waved his hand, then went over to the front of your house where he started talking to them. I don't know what they said. I couldn't hear it. But he couldn't see me anymore since he was looking the other way. He opened the car door and left. I wanted to get away and went behind houses. On those hills there. The ones where we met for the first time. Phil nodded, then stared at you. You stared back. He didn't go on to say anything more. Aren't you going to finish your story? Fred's brow wrinkled like he didn't understand why you were surprised. That's all that happened. Why did you still start nothing happened? You really got to get better at telling stories. That was a pretty bad story. Thanks for telling me. You really got to get better at telling stories. Phil didn't seem to accept the critique whatsoever. But that was how our parents met. I didn't make the story up. True stories can be good. That isn't the problem. Phil's mouth twisted into a scowl of disbelief, but he said nothing. Why'd you bring that up anyway? There's a slight shrug of Cove's shoulders.
Well.
I was thinking about it because of the sandcastle. Made me remember when I moved here. Dad showed me the beach first before we went back to the car to unpack. He was really excited about it for some reason. Phil's brows furrowed a little more as he quietly raked his hands through the sand. I get it. He thought maybe Mr. Holden wasn't that excited about the beach, but instead hoping Cove might be. The line of conversation had come to its end. Even Cove was done with it. Some other topic had popped into his head. Now fidgeting uncomfortably in the sand had made Cove aware of his presence again. They looked at each other and you could only wonder what this might be about. Hey, Shiloh. Yeah? Why are you always turning so red, even when nothing is happening? Clearly started, he jerked back. Neither you nor Shiloh had expected that to be how he got included in the conversation again. I don't know, I guess. Okay, it's kind of weird. Oh my god. Cove. Corner. God. That poor fucking kid is probably like, oh, I get included? Gets told it's weird how red his face gets. That poor kid. Shell's eyes were wide with embarrassment and his lips twitched, and he was blushing even harder than before. Maybe it wasn't only this, perhaps it was simply the last straw, but it was a big deal to Shiloh. A huge deal. He didn't just look sad, he seemed almost panicked. You weren't sure if he was about to cry or run away or what, but you soon got an answer. Why do you wear glasses? Most kids don't wear glasses, and nobody is named Cove. Who asked you to come? It was probably just your dad begging Jamie's family some more because you don't have anyone else who'll play with you. Oh my god. Cove blinked. The tension on the beach was suddenly uncomfortable in a way you didn't know how to laugh it off. It didn't seem like the kind of thing he'd get upset about, though you hadn't ever known what kind of thing would bother Shiloh. I'm sorry. Me too, I was just wondering. I'm sorry. I love how he instantly goes to glasses. I'm allowed to laugh. I have glasses. My character may not, but Hey, let's build another sandcastle. You try to play on your own. We're gonna build more. You nervously mess with the sand. Let's build another sandcastle. The day is gonna be over soon. Jamie, you're right. The sun is going down so fast. I went back to making more sand buildings, but the whole mood had changed. Dallas Uranus was clearly gone. Cove looked as confused as ever, but why did the boy have blown up? The air stayed uncomfortable the rest of the afternoon, right up to the moment that Shiloh's mom appeared at the beach to take him home. At least you tried to do something to resolve it, though it seemed like it helped. Even though Shiloh's smile when he said goodbye to Cove wavered, it stayed as bright as ever for you. That had to count for something. Though Shiloh gone and the sun going down, you knew it was time for you and Cove to head to your own houses. The two of you trailed out of the park together toward the neighborhood. Home was quiet. You passed by familiar landmarks, just slumping against the sidewalk near perfect unison. Cove was clearly caught up in thinking about something. Yes, Cove, what he was thinking, you stayed silent. He shrugged his shoulders and kept going, watching Cove out of the corner of your eye. But a minute or so later, he spoke up anyhow. Anyway. Hey, Jamie, what? Cove fell silent again for a few more seconds, then sighed. Why'd you act like that when I said he was all red a lot? You're being rude to him. He's just being a baby. You shouldn't make fun of him. I don't know, it's Shiloh. He gets embarrassed. He shrugged at Cove with no answer to give. You were being rude. No, I wasn't. It looked like that to me, and it wasn't just saying that one thing. You're not very nice to Shiloh. I didn't mean it like that. Shiloh is just kind of weird to talk to. See, that's kind of rude. I guess I didn't get that, why he would do that. Sometimes I get really mad, too. By seemingly coming to a conclusion, Cove's move was still sour. Hey, Jamie, was Shiloh telling the truth? Huh? His gaze left yours as he dug the sole of his shoe into the ground. He looked oddly vulnerable for a second. Does my dad make you hang out with me? I know he talks to your moms about that a lot. An uncomfortable weight settled in your chest at the question. You liked spending time with Cove. You didn't have to think hard about it. You knew you did. But you couldn't help feel guilty. Cove still didn't know what happened when you met Mr. Holden. Nobody's making me spend time with you. Your dad does do stuff so you'll hang out with my family, but Shiloh shouldn't have said that. I tell him about how his dad offered you money. I like to state, and I'm pulling my mic close for this, I have never once taken that $20 from his dad, so I have no clue how this is going to react. How that poor kid is going to react to it when telling that you took $20 to be his friend. So, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna just not do that. Do that trauma. That's gonna be trauma. Your dad does do stuff to hang out with my family, but Shiloh shouldn't have said that. Those shoulders relax. You hadn't even noticed that he had tensed up. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Anyway, I didn't think you were pretending. I just wanted to make sure it was okay, is all. Thanks for telling me. Your throat tightened. It was hard to meet Cove's earnest gaze again. Keeping secrets was hard. You're welcome. By now, the two of you were on the sidewalk near your houses. It was time to part ways. You said goodbye. You hugged Cove goodbye. You nudged Cove's shoulder. Hugged the poor boy. You stepped forward and wrapped your arms tightly around him. You turned your head, resting your cheek on his shoulder. Cove stood there awkwardly with his hands at his sides. He wasn't much of a hugger, but you didn't get the impression he was unhappy that you were. Bye, Cove. See you tomorrow. Yeah, bye, Jamie. You pulled away, then jogged toward your house. When you looked back, you saw Cove making his way back home, too. As if he felt your eyes on him, he turned around and he waved. You did, too. You still felt a little unsure with what you were supposed to do about the deal Cove's dad had offered. Hi, Corpse. You didn't want to say something bad or something you shouldn't. You had no idea how Cove would take it, either. Would it be terrible if it made him feel bad? What if he didn't want to play with you anymore? You might change your mind sometime. There's always tomorrow, after all. But for now, it was definitely something that you keep to yourself. The final look, you went inside your house. I am broken. I have never once taken the money that his father offered to be friends. I never have. This is the first time I ever had. And that's because you told me to take the money, boys. Corpse, how are you doing? I'm gonna say goodnight. Goodnight, Corpse. Hope you sleep well. um, library, long day, or fireflies? Fireflies. Alright! Tonight we're going to catch fireflies. At this blunt declaration from your sister, you looked up from your macaroni and cheese dinner. Fireflies were a familiar sight over summer, coming out on warm nights to dance through the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy. You knew there was bound to be a ton of them around. Oh, are you? Oh, you are you? I can read that. That is my character's sister, thank you. Yeah, you started eating fast, so you looked over at your mom's. You pushed your food around your plate, you looked at your mom's. Hadn't answered for sure yet, but if that's what Lizzie said you do, that's probably what you'd end up doing. Lizzie was an expert at getting her way, having mastered the art of it by the time she could talk. That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we, Miss Les? Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. It was unusual for Shiloh to still be here. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner to let your moms know she'd be late. You didn't hear why, probably more work things. Thought maybe getting to hang out with Shiloh for longer is what made Lizzie want to keep running around outside. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why you were pretty sure she'd get your moms to agree. Well, it's already so dark out there. Lizzie gave Mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited there for their responses.
There.
Let them go. Nights like this don't happen very often. Your brains exchange a look, and Mom eventually said and nodded back. Yes. Fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind our house with all the poppies got, okay? Yeah, Ma, that's where most of them are. The idea had only just been planted in your head, but already you can just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you like the fairies from the bedtime stories Mommy reads sometimes. Lizzie and Shiloh started digging into their food, and it soon became a race to see who could finish their dinner fast.
Isn't that great?
Aren't you excited to go outside and play, Jamie? You give a non-committal shrug. Jamie's just mad because I always catch the most. Lizzie boasted proudly, her mouth full of food, and Mom gave her a stern look. Elizabeth. A knock on the door interrupted Mom before she could no doubt scold your sister. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was. Huh? Shifted in your seat to try to get a glimpse of an unexpected glance.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Shiloh's floppy hat. Oh, Cove, hi, you're here. Phil smiled at your enthusiastic greeting, and you hoped Mommy would ask him to stay. It didn't matter why he was there, it meant he could join you all in catching fireflies. Then, for a few seconds, Cove said nothing. He only stood there and looked up at your mommy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. My dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you. Cove took a familiar screwdriver from out of his large side pocket. Eyes now dropped to the floor. I just looked over and tried and read that. My screwdriver. Is it though? Really, Cove? I mean, I do like giving people food. I don't know why. I gotta give people food. I don't know why. I made some potato pancakes earlier. I'm gonna try it a different way tomorrow. Oh. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Not touching. It's free air. We left ours back home when we moved. Great, thanks, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged and Mom slid from the table too. I'll give your dad a call to let him know you got here all right. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind him.
Hi.
Cove. Kelly gave Cove a friendly bow, waving by holding his hand up and opening. And closing his fingers, Cove nodded in response. Cove, are you going to catch fireflies with us? You could come outside with us if you want to. You weren't sure what to say now. Cove, are you going to come catch fireflies? You could see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider, but she'd get over it. You hoped Cove would say yes. That way you wouldn't be the odd one out with Lizzie and Shiloh anymore.
Yeah.
I can do that. I never caught one before. Too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The fireflies weren't out when he first moved in. There must not have been any where he used to live. We can't go until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took her seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. This was very true. You decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Philip sat closer and eyed what was on the menu for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What did you have? Eggs. The clip one-word answer seemed to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food on the plate. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Cove, your dad said you can stay for a little while if you'd like. He's going to come get you before it gets too much darker. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun. This will be so nice. As you polished off the meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far. It's fine, Mom. Child trailed so closely after Lizzie he was nearly stepping on her heels. Cove hesitated at the door. Coming? After a moment, he did.
Bye.
Bye, children. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Shiloh by the time you walked outside. Pushed the door shut behind you, watching the figures get further and further away. You're so slow, Jamie. We don't have all night. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when you saw Cove still walking at a relaxed pace. Are you not going to come? You tugged him along. You walked with him, waved at him to hurry. You walked with him. He fell behind, sidling up next to him and matching his stride. He noticed right away.
It's okay.
Go ahead if you want. He smiled, shake your head. I don't. After a short while, the two of you reached the hill behind the house. Fireflies were out in full force, floating on the breeze, their gentle glow winking in and out and creating an almost magical effect. Lizzie had already climbed to the top. Shiloh was spinning in circles somewhere around the middle.
Wow.
Ow. Shiloh took a moment to come over and welcome the both of you to the hill. Hey, hi guys. It's really great out, huh? See how many there are? Yeah. Firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea green head. Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You and Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You quietly looked down. You shooed the bug away. You and Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. Covering your mouth with a hand, the sound escaped you, and Cove looked at you in confusion. What? He gestured to his head, and he reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped, then followed after the glow. Oh, look, Lizzie has one. That's amazing. Shiloh ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozen of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. You had a bandage on your thumb, and you tried to be cautious of that. You had a bandage on your palm, and tried to be cautious of that. You had 2 bandages on your hand and you tried to be cautious of that. You're good at not getting cuts or scratches, so you weren't too worried about that. Spotting one close by, you approached it with assassin-like stealth, crouching down to make yourself seem less of a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept towards it, arms outstretched. Close your hands around the little glowing orb. Careful not to crush it. Firefly landed on your palm. Almost docile, you stared down at your prize in delight. Its tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the Cove kept up with his own target, but when he tried to grab it, Pinkcast waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Aw. Cove watched it vanish into thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face. You encouraged him to try again. You told him about the firefly you had, made a joke about what happened, and you did your own thing. You encouraged him to try again. You'll get the next one. Did you catch one? You nodded, and Cove gave up his hunt for the moment, coming closer and peering at the insect still crawling across your palm. You held out your hand and you leaned closer, eyes widening a tad behind its glasses. Cove remained hypnotized by the little bug as he inched his head closer to yours. Ultimately, he settled his fingers lightly over the top of the ones you were holding open. It tingled. You stayed very still. You pulled your hand back. Stayed very still. The last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shiny treasure off. Firefly, noticing the new connection, crawled up onto Cove's hand. He quietly gasped. It worked. Yeah, you got one. Joseph turned to his slow smile and his eyes shined brighter than the bug. Thanks, Jamie. He laughed and gave his palm of your hand friendly. Gave the palm of your hand a friendly smack, performing an awkward low 5. Followed by the extreme movement, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. Your firefly was gone.
Sorry.
Oops, sorry. You scolded him, you forgave him, you teared up, you forgave him. That's okay, I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Great, bugs had to stay outside. Let's get another. Tried to collect more, you saw you sit in the grass and watch. Oh, we can work together. Face broke out into a wide grin. We'll get a bunch. With renewed vigor, you ran out into the hill. You're not sure how much time passed while you were in the thick of it. All you could focus on was on the adventure at hand. No critter was safe in your grasp. At first, you tried to keep a tally of how many you had caught, but once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers left to count with. You were having the time of your life, racing up and down the hill, the crash of the ocean, and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the background. Jamie, this way. You followed the sound of Cove's voice to the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms in front of him, reaching with his fingers, only narrowly missing his target. Cove and you took turns trying to scare fireflies in the direction of the other. You showed him some techniques that you had learned, like how to cup your hands correctly. He listened attentively before trying for himself. There were a few times when you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Luckily, disaster was avoided each time. It was an overall huge success, with both of you catching multiple fireflies each. Eventually, the fireflies began to thin out, and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Cove didn't complain. He breathed in heavily, and his face seemed really flushed. That was fun, a lot of fun. You smiled at him broadly, happy that he enjoyed the activity. Yeah, it was.
Come on.
Jamie, Cove, get up here. We're gonna have a race. The shiny caught you off guard. It had been quite a while since you heard from Lizzie or Shiloh. You glanced over to see them both standing at the top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning to you with a quick hand gesture. I can speak. How are you doing, Crow? I meant to ask that, but... If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the climb you went. From the corner of your eye, you saw Cove was coming as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued just by the idea of a race. Hi.
Cove.
Hi, Cove. You can't run down the hill. You could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us. As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was that kind of race. He frowned down at his cast. That was the second time it got in the way tonight. And this wasn't even the first time she had asked him to be a referee for one of her sudden races. What? Yeah, you watch. You see who gets to the bottom first. That's important. Got it? I guess. The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee. It was already decided. Get in position for the race. I'm going to do something else. Play with Cove. I'm in position for the race. Satisfied with this, Lizzie moved to lay down. Shiloh did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point. It seems like he was taking his newfound referee duty seriously. Countdown! You quickly got in position as well, resting on your side in the grass and tucking your arms close to your chest. 3, 2, 1, go! The three of you took off, letting gravity do the work, rolling at high speed towards the bottom. Squeezed your eyes shut, a delighted laugh leaving you, consequently allowing food blades of grass into your mouth. You sputtered, reaching up to wipe them away. It threw off your balance and sent you careening sideways. Oof! Ack! Everyone started to lose together because the slight turn made you. You made. Then Shiloh, and then Lizzie collided into a heap. You tumbled down the last few feet in a pile. Kyle's elbow was in your stomach, and you were pretty sure Liz's hair was in your mouth, but you had survived. Perhaps it wouldn't have been safe for Cove after all. Yes, Crow? You could hear him laughing in the distance. When you opened your eyes, you saw the starry sky above, and Cove still on top of the hill, staring down at the three of you with a amused look on his face. Hey, cool crash. I think Shiloh was the first one at the bottom. That didn't count. We need a redo. Hi to you too. I'm doing good. Kids, it's time to come in. Oh. You sighed at knowing if it was from contentment or exasperation. There we go, I can say that. And close your eyes again. It got late and was beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills. The cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together, side by side, down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening with each other, trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much anyway. All that mattered was that you all had a good time, but judging by the smiles on everyone's faces, you did. I feel like I need a nap. To which it wouldn't really be a nap anymore. Be bedtime. Alright. We will be finishing these two tonight. But I do have to offer up a thing. When we finish these, do we want to click and then... I already read that. And click on this, which will end the summer. Because we'll be done with these. And then we'll move on to step 2. Which will then go into the intro into step 2. So we'll do that. Or do I save it after we're done these, and then I do that next stream? So we start off with step 2 completely on a new stream. Which is it? Start step 2 now or next stream? Do all of them this stream? You're insane, Crow. There's 4 steps, technically, altogether. I'm not doing all 4. Next stream? Do them all now. That's only 4 steps. That's a lot more than 4 steps, because there's more. No, thank you. I gotta do a drinking stream tomorrow with Risa. I will say I will make the Friday game until we are done. Now Pokemon hates me. Yep, that's how it goes, boys. I wouldn't mind doing the start of step 2 tonight. I will make that a thing. I will state that. I will start step 2. So we get the intro. Long day or library, which one do we do now? But I will not be doing all of them. Whatever tickle. That's nowhere near where I needed it to be. You know what? Top or bottom? That's how we decide. Top it is. It was another scorching summer day, the kind where no sooner had you finished one cup of water, you're already filling it up again. Everyone else had something on, so that afternoon it was just you and Shiloh. This didn't happen much, especially since Cove had arrived. Without Lizzie around, Shiloh looked to you for all the answers. It made you feel pleased, frustrated, nothing really. Please. May not be end up with just like your sister, but he was only 7. Being the oldest and getting to be the leader was a nice change of pace. You drank yet another drink and frowned at the empty vessel. Your thirst was gone, but you still craved something icy cold. Icy cold and refreshing. Something sweet, something like a popsicle, an ice cream cone, an ice cream sandwich. A popsicle. Not something fruity and brightly colored. There's something like that to be found at home. You knew that without needing to look. Moms didn't keep sweets in the house. Outside, there were plenty of places where such goodies could be obtained. But there were shops and demanded payment in exchange for their products. You sighed, your voice loud, and you asked Shiloh for help. He sighed. As much as you really wanted that treat, it wasn't going to happen. What's wrong? Want a popsicle? Shiloh, who had been draped over the sofa, perked up. Yeah. That sounds good. We don't have any here, and I don't have any money. Oh, let me check if I have any. Hi. How you doing, zombie? Shiloh rummaged in his backpack and proudly produced an assortment of coins plus one stray button. He set the button aside and counted the coins in neat piles. Just over $1, he announced this to Shiloh, he had almost certainly come to the same conclusion. But he'd been watching you expectantly. It's not enough. It's a start. Shiloh beamed at you. We'll need to find some more. Okay. JV lifted the couch cushions, stuck tiny hands deep down crevices in the sofa and under furniture and scoured the back of drawers. Most of what you found was useless or gross. Bent paper clips, fluffy wisp of dust, or sandy crumbs, but ever so often one of you would strike silver or bronze, and add it to the growing pile of coins. I hope you feel better. Nothing is good. The cold is not good. Everyone is also kind of sick now, aren't they? Harry was sick. Mad Dog was sick. Everyone's just getting sick. Yep, my voice is just recovering from surgery. No longer a Capri Sun. Your mind wandered to the $20 bill tucked away in your room. It was enough for you and Shiloh to give whatever you wanted and more, but you didn't take it out. It was too special to hand over so freely. I still had the $20? God damn, kid me, what the fuck? Complaining about not having any money and then remembering the $20. You don't get excited and start screaming, wait, I got it, I got it. Besides, Shiloh would be curious where it came from and might even mention your wealth to Lizzie. The exchange had been a secret. Dusty and disheveled from checking every room, squinting into every tiny nook, the two of you finished pulling your finds. Shiloh held his breath as he counted the coins once again. $2.53 and 2 buttons. Didn't know when the second button had decided to join the party, but you were too pleased with your successful haul to throw it out. Not enough? Figured he knew the answer, but you appreciated him recognizing your authority on financial and ice cream matters. Trained up before making your pronouncement. Yeah, we got enough. You can now afford something at the shops. Just one thing. That was infinitely better than none. Shiloh clapped his hands. Yay! The two of you dashed outside. The promise of sugary buoyed you on to your destination where, breathless but happy, you stared at the overwhelming number of options. You knew what you wanted, but it wasn't just you who had contributed to the funds to get the treat. Seemed to notice your pause. Aren't you getting a popsicle? Shiloh asked as though he was entirely separate from the decision, rather than someone with a stake in the outcome. Do you mind? Shiloh cocked his head to the side. It was your idea, you should choose. You and Head got what you wanted originally. Are you really sure it's okay? Try to get something you both wanted anyway. You and Head got what you originally wanted. You were thrilled that Shiloh wasn't going to be an obstacle between you and your original choice. Without wasting another second, you exchanged cold, hard cash for equally cold, but maybe less hard dessert. Isn't there like a thing of, popsicle with the 2 sticks? Isn't there that one? So, they could just like split it. Peaches is being so adorable. She just like kept her eyes closed and she just looked up and licked her little arm and then just like laid back down. Could have gone for an ice cream sandwich, broke it half. That is another one. Finally, the reward for all your hard work was in your hands. You sucked on the fruity popsicle you bought. The icy treat cooled you down perfectly, and the zesty flavor was refreshing. You let it out to show so you could take a turn. He shook his head. Oh, the voice actor for it is so adorable. Oh, you can finish it. That's adorable. You didn't want any after everything you did to help it? That was weird. You accepted the offer. You tried to include Charlie. You hesitated.
It's okay.
It's okay, Jamie. You wanted more than I do, and I'm really happy that we got to play today already. You finish it. Well, it wasn't worth arguing further. The frozen treat was being worn away by the sun and started to trickle dangerously towards your fingers. Going much longer, then neither of you would be getting to eat it. All right, thanks. The two of you began to head it back home as you ate. You offered the treat once more to Shiloh, but he refused again. You walked side by side on the shore in silence, but your thoughts kept drifting to the boy beside you. Why didn't he speak up for himself? It was almost as if Shiloh didn't know how to say what he felt, or was too afraid to. You figured that was his problem, didn't care. Are you scared of me? You thought that was kind of sad. Are we friends? You figured that was his problem and didn't care. Seems kind of mean, but also not my problem. Shiloh was the only person who acted that way around you, so it was him rather than something wrong with you. You could ask him about it, but if he couldn't give an opinion on something like what treat to get, and he wasn't going to open up about this. It made you unsure about setting a label on the experience of spending the afternoon with just him. There had been good times, and there had been confusing ones. You were positive one thing at least, the treat was delicious, and that was nice. The sun was low on the horizon as you returned to your neighborhood. There, you spotted 2 familiar figures up ahead, Lizzie and Cove. You opened your mouth to make your presence known to them just as you saw the tears in Cove's face. You walked straight over, Shiloh at your heels. Once there, you, defended Cove, took a moment to make a joke, accused Lizzie of causing trouble, carefully asked what would happen. Carefully asked what happened. Without a time machine, the only way you were going to find out was by asking the witness. Lizzie may have done something, but she could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or even come to Cove's aid. You wanted to hear the story. Cove, what happened? Jamie, I got yelled at. He took a deep, steady breath. Some grandparents got mad at me. Sorry. Lizzie jerked her head in the direction of a nearby house. Your heart sunk. You knew exactly what had happened. Every year, the same mean old couple rented out that condo for the summer. You, Lizzie, and Shiloh knew to stay away from them, but Cove couldn't have. You're like that with everyone. Even your mom sure could find anything nice to say about them, but the elderly pair particularly took offense to kids. Didn't matter if they were really nice like Cove. Yeah, Lizzie said. Lizzie drew herself up with that. Looked pointedly in your direction. I was helping. That's cool. Is there anything I can do? No, I'm just gonna stay away. Or you could teach them a lesson. There's a devilish glint in her eyes. What? You should ding-dong ditch them. Go ring the doorbell and run. It'll be great, because they're so slow. They'll never catch you. That's dumb. I don't want to go near them ever again. You're saying that because you're... Okay, that was said all for me. Can I, like, replay that again? Hey. Couldn't have said it better myself. Both glared but didn't take the bait. Lizzie turned to you. You're not a chicken, are you? Yeah, cluck cluck. You'd rather just avoid them. You thought they deserved worse. I'll do it. Really? You took a deep breath and nodded. Lizzie squealed with delight. Well, we'll go hide. Run as soon as you hit the bell. Good luck. Lizzie and Shiloh ran across the road to take shelter in the bushes. Even once they settled down, you could make out two children's side shapes staring from between the leaves. You knew where to look for them, though, so you told yourself that the grouchy old people wouldn't spot it. Phil sighed, his gaze flickering to the house, then back at you. Be careful. What? Just buzzed on my phone. I'll be quick as a flash. He gave the door and you one last look before joining Lizzie and Shiloh in their hideaway. The weight of 3 pairs of eyes on your back was heavier than anything he'd carried before as you approached the door. You hesitated as you reached the doorbell. Then, you rung it, you didn't ring it, you rung it. You slapped the buzzer and ran. Blood thumped against your eardrums with every step. Would you make it in time? Approaching the hiding spot, you knew there wasn't time to go around the bush as the others had done, and you took a shortcut, leaping over them. Only to be Mariah crouching to the tops of the bushes and then falling over to the other side. Cliff quickly hissed as you unavoidably collided into him. But, by the way his arms were out, it seemed he intentionally tried to cushion your landing. Shh! Lizzie put a finger to her lips and nodded at the house. You disentangled your limbs from Cove's and spun around to see the old man framed in the doorway, peering back and forth suspiciously. You removed your hands, but it wasn't enough to stifle your giggles. Maybe he spotted one of you, or maybe it was the leaves you displaced while jumping, but he looked eyes with the bush, stormed over in your direction. Shiloh gasped, looked to Lizzie, run. Your sister did not hesitate to take her own advice. Neither did Shiloh. You got up, but seeing Cove struggling to extract himself and stand up with just the one fully flexed arm, give him a hand up before taking off after the others. No man's hollers propelled you all from the street to the sanctity of the hill. Only once you were safe did you notice the stitch in your chest and the ache of your legs. You flopped down, the blades of grass tickling your face. Lizzie, who had taken the lead in the end, was already lazing on the ground. The 4 of you took a moment to catch your breath, enjoying the feeling of cool grass against your skin. Hey, Cove. Cove lifted his head. I told you there were mean grandparents around here. Cove rolled his eyes, then decided this wasn't dismissive enough and rolled his whole body away from your sister. Lizzie chose to ignore his response and started chatting to Shiloh, eagerly joined in the conversation. In the back of your mind, you knew you'd be second fiddle again to Shiloh once Lizzie came around. It always went like that. It was fine, you thought. You still felt a little sad after how much time you spent together today, and it was always annoying. It was fine, you thought. Shiloh could prefer Lizzie as much as he wanted to. There are other things to attend to anyway. You wiggled You wriggled closer to Cove. He had calmed down for the most part, and was inspecting a flower. His fingers pinched the stem and tilted the white petals towards him. That's a poppy. Cove glanced at you in acknowledgement, then back to the flower. The type of poppies on the silks saw the name white linen poppy. Mom told me. He quirked a smile. That's funny. Ran a finger around the edge of the petals. Those feel like cloth. You needed a lot of them to make anything. He nodded and released the delicate plant. Evaluation complete. This is my favorite kind of flower, but I didn't know what it was called. Thanks. Mine too, roses, buttercups. The paradise snapdragons, hibiscus, peonies. I love sunflowers. Tulips, orchids. I don't necessarily call flowers. I don't care about flowers. Only know what my mom tells me. Yep. It's all about flowers. What was it? It was spider lilies are freaking amazing. Very gorgeous. And I just added to it. I didn't mean to click on that. Spider lilies. The spider lilies? I should probably just put lily. Shouldn't I? That makes sense. A spider lily, huh? Neat. Thanks. You laid onto your back, the small smile, and looked at the darkening sky. The blanket of clouds reminded you of a thick throw you curled. What? Thick throw you curled under on rainy days. You wondered the clouds would be as soft. They lazily floated on by, splitting from each other, merging and morphing shapes. You saw a dolphin, you saw a car, an alpaca, smiley face, cloud shapes. Dolphin. You saw a dolphin leaping through the sky. You nudged Cove and pointed to it. Look, a dolphin. Cove joined you in gazing skywards. Oh, I see it. Really? No, but I like dolphins. Hey, you check out your reaction. All the sunlight faded from the sky and the moon rose higher. Lacey got to her feet, dusting strands of grass from her bare legs and surveyed her surroundings. The ocean visible from the crest of the hill, hiking with every sweep of the tide. Let's go to the beach. There was no argument from the other two. Shiloh was still Shiloh, and Cove would never say no to going to the shore. He was a child of the sea. You wanted to go there, were too tired, were happy to do what others wanted, objected to the plan, and to go there too. They eagerly joined the others in descending the hill down to the water. He stepped onto the sand. Look, our sandcastle is still standing. For the second time that day, but it felt different at night. The beach was nearly quiet at this hour, abandoned sandcastles, footsteps of the sand, too big to belong to any of you, were the only indication of how busy he had been only hours earlier. Four of you kicked their shoes off and removed socks and walked along the water's edge. The waves tickled your feet. I wonder what would happen if you tried to take a bath in the ocean, with shampoo and everything. That would be bad for the fish.
Jeez.
Didn't say anyone would do it. Jeez, you don't have to be serious about everything. You're the one who asked what would happen. That is what would happen. It hurt the fishes. I like bubble baths at home. They're a lot of fun. Me too. Bubble baths are luxurious. You never heard Lizzie use that word before. Mummy loves to have bubbles in her bath. You turn the lights off and have candles. I'm going to do that next time. Hey, what's your mom coming to pick you up anyway? Not for a while. She's busy. What about your dad? How come you never talk about him? Nobody does. You know, don't you know you're not supposed to act something like that? Why would somebody want to talk about something they never talk about? You kept your eyes on the ground, watching your toes get swallowed by the waves. You and Shiloh never seemed upset when the topic came up. Made you feel awkward just for having both your moms. It's okay. I'm like Lizzie and Jamie. I don't have a dad, but I don't have two moms. I just have one. She's really great. Oh, sorry. I only have one now too. My mom isn't here. She's back home. It's just my dad with me.
Sorry.
I never had a dad or anything, so I don't feel bad. It's really sad that your mom was gone. I've nodded. You joked about Shiloh's mom getting together with Cove's dad. Let's not do that. Even if they are all different, our parents are good in their own ways. You didn't say anything. Yeah. Cove couldn't muster a response. You don't think he truly does agree, though. Lines broke with a splash as Lizzie kicked in your direction. Cold water and sand splattered against your leg. Lizzie giggled, foot still outstretched from the kick. Cove joined in, striking the incoming waves to make a splash of his own. Shiloh scurried out of Cove's spray zone with a grin. You made a run for it. You retaliated. You used... I have... It's the game. It's, I, I've just been playing it on stream. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just voicing out dialogue and narrating the entire whole thing. Thank you, voice, for the hydrate. Yeah. You used your foot to smack the water pooling around you, setting an arc of sea foam flying back onto your sister. You laughed as she spluttered some of the salty sea water having landed in her mouth. She spat it out. Yuck. Lizzie chased you, intent on revenge. He dashed up and down the coast, taking it in turns to be the predator and the prey, as well as joining forces to take down Shiloh or Cove. Alliances were slightly forged and wordlessly broken. Everything was fair game in war. Ah! Shiloh's brief explanation was drowned out by the biggest slash yet, caused by him falling face first onto the ground. That would have been bad enough without the wave that followed, cascading over his prone body. Shiloh sat up, shaking his head like a dog coming in from the rain. As you all hurried over to check on him, his hair was plastered to his head, and his soaked clothes clung. If there was any part of him that was still dry, you couldn't see it. That was crazy. Are you okay? Yeah, my foot got stuck and I fell over. Way to go, Shiloh, you dumbo. He offered him some help up. Let him get up by himself. Shiloh seemed to be fine. Babying him might make him feel worse. But Lizzie didn't have the same idea and held her hand out to Shiloh. He reached over and took it. Slowly, he started to pull himself from the ground. Then he slipped on the slick sand, dragging him and Lizzie down just in time for another wave to hit. The water rolled over them. Sorry. What were the odds of that happening twice in a row? He thought they must be low, but there's no way Shiloh could do something like that on purpose. Then pretend it was an accident, especially not to Lizzie. Even if your relationship with Shiloh felt unclear, he did at least like her a lot. Lizzie was his favorite, right? Smiling boldly, Lizzie extracted herself from the ground and wiped a streak of sand from her cheek. She didn't intend to let this embarrass her. Shiloh got up again as well, this time without incident. He still looked like a drowned puppy, but that didn't stop Cove laughing at the two of them. With that, it was time to call it a day. All four of you made the journey back home, leaving a trail of wet footsteps and sand in your wake. Damp clothes may have weighed down some of the group, but your spirits were high. Your arms swung side to side as a cool breeze flowed past. Your moms were outside chatting to Cove's dad. We're back. Your mom's faces fell as they took in the state of you all were in, ranging from messy to soaked.
No.
Elizabeth, is this Is that all you have to say for yourself? You brought half the beach back with you. You certainly did. What's Marigold going to do when she comes to get Shiloh? Is that how you want him to be for the long drive home? Cold and filthy? Lizzie's expression turned sulky after the scolding. Being noticed could be fun, but it also meant she was the first to get in trouble when something went wrong. Mr. Holden, on the other hand, chuckled as he ruffled Cove's matted hair. You've been out making memories, Bucko. I'm glad you had a good time with your friends. Cove used his slightly moist cast arm to push his dad off. Mr. Holden's eyes widened when he noticed. Even that had gone wet. Now he was worried too. I think they could have found it a less risky way to spend time and had just as much fun. That might have been right, kids. What can you do? Come on, Cove, let's go get you cleaned up and dried off. We wouldn't want that cast to be reset. Cove winced at the thought. Okay. Attaboy. Mr. Holden casually bent down and plucked Cove off the ground, ultimately holding Cove against his shed. Sand was already transferring from Cove onto him. That didn't seem to bother Mr. Holden. Cove protested being carried, but only got a reassuring pat on the back for his trouble.
Take care.
Good night, Cove. Thank you for the talk, Cliff. Night, last family and Shiloh too. Resigned to his fate, Cove twisted his body in his dad's arm to turn around and wave goodbye. Smiling, he waved back. Good night. Well, we better do what we can to fix you guys up. Come on, everybody inside. I want you to march straight to the downstairs bathroom. Yes, Mom. Okay, Lizzie's mom. Don't worry about stopping to wipe your feet on the mat this time. That won't do much good tonight. Sitting on the old beach towel your mommy had found, you waited in the hall. So you're less Sandy, you weren't allowed to go to your room or walk around the house. But you did get to eat a sandwich for dinner there. It felt like an indoor picnic. It had been decided that Shiloh would wash first and borrow some of your clothes. Already finished and packed away in his mom's car. Miss Fields had come to collect him a little while ago. It was a bit of a funny experience seeing him without that hat on for once. Just being much more soaked than you, got to go in the tub next. It wasn't a bubble bath as she had hoped. This was a no fun allowed cleanup session. At least that's what she claimed. Not much longer and it would be your turn. When the bath was done, you'd have to go right to bed. After a day like this, though, you were glad there weren't going to be any further events. Drifting off to sleep sounded like a great idea. And the final memory is a library. Every year, the Sunset Bird Memorial Library held a summer reading program. Your moms and Lizzie were big fans of it. Mom and Mommy because they encouraged reading, and Lizzie because she could win prizes. When it came to what you thought of having to read a bunch of books, then going to the library with a competitive Lizzie, you loved it, you didn't care, you hated it. You loved it. Each time had been one of the highlights of your summer. Getting to hang out with Lizzie and Shiloh, learn new stuff, was a lot of fun, even if Lizzie was super intense about it. You and Lizzie went with Shiloh before, and this year you brought Cove too. His dad had been so over the moon about Cove being included that he had driven all four of you. There's that expensive car again. You'd never been in Cove's dad's car before. It seemed a lot shinier than your mom's. After herding the group inside, Mr. Owen gave you all a wide wave, the arm that has a stingray on it. Have fun, kids. Stay inside the librarians. You hear? I wish I could watch you in action. Old dad has to finish up some work.
I got it.
I'm sure that won't get in the way. Heck, I'd probably hold you kids back. There's pointedly no reply from the center, what was likely meant as only a joke. Cove's dad seemed to deflate a bit. Swing around again when this big ends. Yeah, I can go home now. Aw, you don't have to throw me out the door, Your sister already in full competition mode. Come off for once. Don't look grateful she was there. We have to go find a table, Mr. Holden. We can talk to you can talk to Cove after when we win. Okay. See you in about an hour. Have fun. Did I say that already? My advanced age is really catching up to me now. Bye, Dad. Bye, son. The four of you watched him shuffle out the library, glancing over his shoulder at Cove more than once. Bye, Mr. Holden. Thank you for bringing us. Thanks, Lizzie. Know what you're thanking me for? Are you copying Shiloh? Distracted Cove was already glancing around the gigantic library. I want to go explore. What? I said I want to go look around and see what's in here. But the quiz starts soon. That's why we came. Right at first signs of conflict, child's eyes started between Lizzie and Cove. You can do it without me, right? You don't need a bunch of people. Didn't your dad say stay with the librarians? Then go somewhere by yourself. Cove leveled an unimpressed stare at both of them. Then his eyes met yours.
Hey.
Why are you looking at them? Jamie is with us. Jamie can come if they want to. Cove's idea is more fun. I'll stick with Lizzie. I'd rather go exploring. The quiz sounds better. Go over to Cove. Then next Lizzie. There's no in between, and there's no, can't I just go do my own shit? Cove or quiz? Which one should we do, boys? Am I shocked you picked Cove? No.
Seriously?
Now, I will state this here and now that Lizzie and Shiloh will only get second place without you. Without us there. I've done both. They get second place without you and first place with you. If you know the correct answer. So, seriously. Cove looked surprised but happy at the same time. He knew that was one of the things he liked doing with your family, but you chosen time with him anyway. Oh, fine, let's go, Shiloh. Okay. Her arms folded, your sister stormed off. Shiloh had a race to keep up with her. She hears a lot about that. That's just how Lizzie is. I don't like it. Since you've been here a lot before. We could play hide and seek. Hide and seek, not exploring? Yep, if I'm searching for you and you're searching for me, we'll really have to look at everything. You weren't entirely sure how effective that would be, but couldn't say he was totally wrong. I'll hide first. Decision made, Cove took off towards the back of the library. You were ready to play with him instead, so you covered your face and waited for 10 seconds. When he looked up again, he was nowhere to be seen. He glanced over towards the way he went. Cove hadn't much time to hide. He was already invisible. The place you decided to check was next to Peter Pan, Fairy Tale, or behind the solar system model. Solar system. Your library solar system display was pretty neat. It had all the planets from the sun on out, and it had its own little section hidden in the science books. But you saw a tiny pair of familiar shoes poking out from under the earth, so you leaned around it. Hey there.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Turn back to the earth and its tiny moon. From the spot, I think it's supposed to be a solar eclipse. It kind of blocks out the sun. Looked at it, tilting your head. He was right. This thing was something you always walked by, but you never noticed that before. Hide and seek did seem to be working out for finding interesting things.
Okay.
Your turn now. I'm going to cover my eyes and count to 10. I promise I won't pee. While Cove had his eyes securely behind the palms of his hands, you went to go hide. Fire away nest station, stoats animals, under a giant piece of fruit, by the wall poster in the fantasy section near the toddler books. Let's try under the giant piece of fruit. Why not? Nobody had any idea where this giant peach sitting in the corner. I'm sorry, nobody had any idea why there was a giant peach sitting in a corner. It had something to do with a book about a kid named James. Lizzie had said once, but she never read it. James and the Giant Peach. I love that movie. It was one of my favorites growing up. Huge sculpture mostly just took up a lot of space, but you could wedge yourself in next to it and hide carefully. Sure enough, it took a little while for Cove to find you. Long enough that you got tired of sitting hunched up. You won this round, and you are ready to come out. I can. Cove smiled when you stepped into the open, and he was glad for the resolution. Good hiding spot. I was about to start looking outside. Thanks, I'm pretty good at this. Grinned back as you brushed the debris off your clothes. Nobody had cleaned back there in a long time.
All right.
My turn again. Start counting so I can pick a spot. Okay. Cove darted off before you even had a chance to fully close your eyes. 1 Mississippi. When the time was up, he was long gone again. There were still a lot of good places to hide, so you figured he was in all the old Christmas stuff, next to the Kid Detective poster behind the Willy Wonka statues. Sorry, I was trying to listen to what my mom and Kenzie were talking about. Let's try the Willy Wonka statues. You must be next to all the Willy Wonka statues, you thought, and you were right. Bill was standing there looking at them. You must have missed him in the crowd at first sight. But he wasn't really hiding at all. Hey, these are creepy. Statues were made of brass. Lizzie had told you once. Apparently they were all the kids that had gone to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Charlie Bucket, Augustus Clump, Veruca Salt. I was gonna hide here, but they're too weird. Let's keep playing. I need to do good in at least one round. He put his hands over his eyes, but before he could run off again, a librarian approached the two of you. Ah, kids, I've been looking for you. Phil picked between his fingers at the stranger. Us? He must be Cove. Your dad told me he was waiting by the entrance. Phil blinked, mouthing open like he was going to say something, then glanced down at his pink cast. It was pretty clear giveaway. Sure. Was my sister Lizzie with him? She's taller than us and has orange hair. You're Jamie, right? Nodded. You have found both of you at once. That's right, she's with him, and the little guy with freckles. Come on, let's get you reunited so we can close up for the night. Ready to go home, you and Cove followed him up front, where the ragtag group of family members and Shiloh were all waiting. There you are. She was pouting. You could tell from all the way across the room, and it was only that much more obvious as he got closer. Did you win? You came in second. Hey, gang, I thought you'd have been with them the whole time, Cove. Glad you didn't just go off by yourself, at least. Cove glanced over at you, then back and said, Me too. A broad smile spread over Mr. Holden's face. Even so, next time you should Cove. Cove's dad glanced around slightly frantic, but Cove, just like always, had snuck off without saying anything. He's leaving. Cove's trying to be first one to the car. With a sudden burst of speed, Lizzie darted for the exit, still in Victor-to-be mode, even for something like a race to ride in the front seat. There's nothing else for the three of you to do except head after them. Pretending the librarians hadn't noticed of the commotion. Though Lizzie had been victorious in claiming a window seat in the car, you could tell by her crossed arms and occasional pout that she still had not forgiven your betrayal. Cove had sighed when he had to sit in the middle after Lizzie shot past him the last second, but he cheered up some. He hopped in the back seat next to him. Did you say he came in second place? That's some good going. No, it's not. She levied another glance at you over her shoulder. Sure. Striving to improve is good too. That makes Jamie the winner in your family. That's me. What? Jamie kept finding me in our game. I lost. You need a rematch. Hide and seek with just you two, that doesn't even count as winning. Why not? Not special. There's no judges or prizes. You had the seat that she'd fought so hard to win. That wasn't much of a prize either. Dad? Yes. You see Cove's dad eyed in the rearview mirror, suddenly attentive at his son's call. We need a prize. As a matter of fact, Mr. Holden focused intently on the road ahead, so a suitable reward to please Cove might appear before him.
Right.
Right. The big thing on fire for this was the chance to get a free pizza coupon, wasn't it? But I call up Potato Place and we have pizza at home for dinner. Lizzie helped pulling her arms closer to her chest. Mom even gonna let you take a pizza for Mr. Holden? We'll see. I'll ask her. I'll talk to all your moms about this. Thanks, Cove's dad.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Holden. Yeah, thanks, Dad. You're welcome. I do what I can. But you really should have stuck with the group. The quiz would have been fun, and that was the plan when I dropped you off. We stayed together and I didn't leave the library. I'm glad for that, I am. There's just lots we can get into, even if you do have a buddy along for the ride. Just be careful next time. I will worry about you, and I bet James' parents wouldn't want them to run off unexpectedly either, okay, son? Okay. Hi, baby. That's my boy. Now, enough from your old dad. Let's decide what kind of toppings we're gonna get. Aye. What do you want? Pepperoni. Sounds good. Anything else? And the conversation continued from there, with debates on what was best to put on pizza for the rest of the drive. Mr. Holden wanted anchovies, and the other three kids in the car had to band together to explain how gross they were. The way Cove's dad laughed up in the front seat made you wonder if he was doing it on purpose. He had a fun day already, but closing out with the promise of a free pizza, after all, and more time to hang out with Cove made it even sweeter. It was a shame that she hadn't been able to do the quiz, but skipping it for just 1 year didn't hurt. It was worth it. And we are done with step 1. Okay. And I'm not ready for bed. That was such a good bedtime story. So, next Friday we will go on to step 2. So, we'll be clicking on that. You. But I think let me see.
Hello, motherfucker.
Thank you for the follow. Who should? Devil is streaming. Raid Loss. Loss is streaming? Wait. Fuck you. What? Who am I raiding? I typed that wrong. Dash. Raid. I'd say raid loss. Making me so confused, Grow. Why? I'm too sleepy for this. Oh. You know what? I take it back. I know who I'm raiding. You're not going to raid Devil. We're gonna raid my bestie Jordan. Jordan is who I normally play Fortnite with. He's awesome. He's currently playing Monster Hunter Wilds. He tries to stream. I want to help him get to affiliate as best as I can because he's been trying very hard. So, on that note, we will do that. And we will watch him completely fumble because he won't know what to do. He probably won't even notice. But thank you all for stopping by, and I shall see you tomorrow for the drinking stream with Risa. Bye.